I've been to around 50 hotels in the past year, and this is one of only 2 of them that I catch myself daydreaming about. All of those dreamy details coming up. The Naka Island Resort is very different from most properties in Phuket for 2 big reasons. First, it's on an almost private island. And second, it used to be a Six Senses resort, which is significant in and of itself. We'll get to all those details in a bit, but first, where are we? Feel free to skip ahead to the time below to start the resort tour. Thailand has many small, even tiny islands with resorts on them, most of which are off the coast of Phuket or Krabi in the southwest of the country. Phuket is one of the most, if not the most, accessible vacation island in Asia, with near 80 flights a day now, and far more than that pre-pandemic. The majority of the resorts in Phuket are on the west coast of the island, with sandy beaches everywhere from the north to the south. Naka Island is off the east coast though, and accessible via the Ao Po Grand Marina, around a 20-minute drive from the airport. The full name, Ko Nakayai, means the Island of the Big Serpent, which doesn't sound too reassuring. But don't worry, it's just referring to a mythical Buddhist serpent which the island is said to resemble. On the western shore, there's a small local village with the majority of the island covered with dense forest and mangroves, except of course for the Naka Island Resort, taking up the northwestern shores. From the marina, it's a quick 10-minute speedboat ride which was included in my room rate, and seems to be included in all of the room rates these days. For sure, this is one of the most seamless arrival check-in experiences I've ever had, especially for a private island. I arrived at the marina by taxi, and I didn't see any signs for the resort, but my driver asked around, and soon enough I found someone that worked for the resort. A very quick golf cart ride later brought me to the pier where the boat was waiting for me. We were quickly on our way, and before we knew it, the resort came into view. There was a gaggle of staff waiting for us on the pier to welcome us and sort out our luggage. From the pier, we were brought to the arrival gong, which we'll see in a second, and then I was brought directly to my villa by 2 staff to complete check-in procedures, and my luggage made it there in, 3 minutes more. I checked my photos for the timestamps, and from getting in the golf cart at the marina until I was in my villa, check-in and room tour complete was 23 minutes. That's very impressive. One note about my stay, my nights at the resort were over a local holiday weekend and they were fully committed. Given that, the level of service and efficiency was even more admirable. When arriving, each guest was invited to hit the gong 2 times to announce their arrival to the dragon, the serpent that we spoke about. On departure, you rang it again once. Technically speaking, this is the reception area, but from the looks of it during my stay, it was only used for checking in larger groups. I had the pleasure of staying in an oceanfront villa, which was something like a 7-category upgrade, but more on that later. Now let's head to the pool. The resort has a total of 90 rooms and villas, 65 of which have their own private pools, so this area was rarely crowded except for a few people during sunset. Just in front of the pool is the beach where there was a variety of non-motorized equipment available to guests. 2 notes about the water here. First of all, there were pretty extreme tides here, which I hadn't really seen elsewhere on Phuket. If your preferred vacation mode involves swimming in the ocean all day long, this might not be the right property for you, just putting it out there. Second, my time in Phuket was following weeks of violent and torrential rains in the region, and so the water was murkier than normal during my stay. This property originally opened as the Six Senses Sanctuary Spa in 2008. 3 years later, it closed. I won't speculate about why, but soon after, the owners, the Erawan Group, who also own the JW Marriott and Grand Hyatt in Bangkok, signed with then Starwood Hotels to rebrand as the Naka Island Resort, a luxury collection property. The second pool, which we're about to see, and some of the non-villa rooms were added during the downtime, and in September 2011, the resort reopened. In 2019, the resort again closed for a few months when they added 10 more villas, a new restaurant, and generally gave the rest of the resort a facelift. Wonky history aside, the 2019 renovation was done really well, as you would never know that this property was 14 years old. The grounds of the resorts are manicured incredibly well, and one really nice touch that I enjoyed were the signs on many trees identifying the species. Walking to the Z-Bar at the far end of the resort, we were passing by all of the ocean view villas, and the views up here, as you can see, are spectacular. Has a bit of a Grecian Thai thing going on. Here we have the Z-Bar, which is known for its sunset views. As you know, I film in the morning so as not to disturb other guests. Of course, this means that the bars aren't open at that time, but you can get the idea. Along my 20-minute walk and on the way back, I was probably asked around 6 times by staff passing in golf carts if I needed a ride, which is pretty indicative of the staff in general here. Perhaps they were missing just a bit of polish, but overall, the staff are well trained and natural. Anything and everything you needed was done quickly, and staff were empowered to make their own decisions. I called the reception as my Wi-Fi wasn't connecting when I first arrived. Couldn't have been more than 5 minutes later, someone was checking the modem. He couldn't figure out the problem, so again, just a few moments later, they gave me a pocket Wi-Fi to use until an actual technician could come to fix it the next day. Keep in mind, this is a small island, so some things take time. In the distance, you can see the arrival pier, and that last tree that you can make out is where my villa is, with many more up on the hill to the left. Heading to my villa now, a bit more about my booking. I booked through American Express Fine Hotels and Resorts. I use this program just about any chance I can, as long as the rate is within a reasonable range of the lowest available. All bookings come with an early check-in, a guaranteed 4 o'clock checkout, a $100 amenity, which in this case was a property credit, and also an upgrade, which is subject to availability on arrival. My experience with this program is properties typically do the bare minimum or they go all out. Since I already knew that they were fully booked, I honestly didn't expect any upgrade whatsoever from my lowest category room reservation, and I was blown away that they'd put this villa aside for my stay. My villa didn't have a pool as it was the closest villa to the water itself. You'll see, the beach area here is a bit odd. First, remember about the tides and the rains. Normally, there's a bamboo wall that holds back the sand during the low tide. Since the high tides were so high recently, a lot of the sand was being washed away every night, and then backfilled by the staff every morning. Keep in mind, this only affects 3 of the 67 villas, and is not normally this dramatic. The property was designed by Habitat Architects, which seems to be an unintentional trend with the properties I chose in Phuket, and has a very, very distinctly Six Senses vibe to it, but better actually. I'm not hating on Six Senses, but their color palettes are just not my taste. The makeover into the Naka Island Resort saw a shift to using more earth tones and shades of blue. There was almost a Namibian safari lodge vibe to it. Every single surface, finishing, and detail was solid, well maintained, and pristine. I truly mean every detail. There wasn't a single one-off smudge on a throw pillow, or a nick in a cabinet door, nothing. Comfortable, impeccably maintained, and just a bit exotic. The room has all of the outlets that you'll need, though most of them are hidden. Every window and door had beautiful blackout Roman shades that were all drawn at night to transform the room into a bit of a cocoon. On arrival, a fruit plate, some jars of snacks, and a bottle of Prosecco was laid out at what became my desk with the view for the next few days. The minibar was nothing over the top, but had everything I needed. Unlimited glass bottles of water and decent coffee. Now, on to the rest of the villa. Note that the bedroom is air-conditioned, but the bathroom and closet areas are not. Fine with me, but since the staff specifically told me, quote, all villas only have air conditioning in the bedroom, without me ever asking, I assume quite a few guests aren't expecting it. Across from the outdoor courtyard is the first of many storage areas. I have to say, my packing cubes were thrilled about being here. Probably the first time they've ever been actually spread out in any hotel. On the left is a small toilet room, which was not that hot, but yes, this is Thailand. Take care with the floors everywhere in the villa though. When they're wet, they're slippery as anything. The bathroom was stocked with ton amenities, the storage areas continued, and the room had some spectacular natural light, at least at certain times of the day. The indoor shower also had a steam room function. Outside, we have an oversized bathtub. Note that those slats do close for even more privacy, as well as an outdoor shower just around the corner. A lockable door leads from this beautiful area back towards the oceanfront area. The outdoor living space is complete with a covered sala with cushions, an outdoor couch, as well as two super comfortable loungers and an umbrella in front of the hedges. Now, about those tides, let's fill it up. Keep in mind that while the primary beach area obviously has tides as well, it's not nearly as dramatic as this specific area of the resort. A bit of room service before the sunset was fantastic. In fact, all of the food that I had here was seasoned really well and full of flavor. One of the great things about the layout of the resort is just how many places you can catch the sunset from. This is the dinner-only restaurant, My Grill, which funnily enough serves grilled food, including prime cuts of steak and local seafood. If you'd like to eat here, reservations are a must. Before my stay here, I read a lot about how overpriced the food is and how they take advantage of the remote location, etc., etc. I honestly disagree. The food prices here are nothing out of the ordinary for a 5-star resort in Thailand. $3 soft drinks, $5 beers, $10 to $15 for starters, and $15 to, $40 for mains. Considering everything you're eating obviously came from the mainland, I think the prices are more than reasonable. Sunset from the restaurant? Check. Next up, the beach. This was by far the most crowded I saw the beach during my sold-out stay. And next, from the pool. Last but certainly not least, the view from my villa. The birds in Thailand, by the way, seem to be set on alarms. They start going crazy every night right around sunset for like 15 minutes. Then they go quiet again until the next sunset. Dinner was poolside at the Rum Chapel. This is the restaurant that was added on during the 2019 renovation. Fish cakes followed by caramelized pork neck. Don't knock it until you try it. The next morning, as always, we headed to Tonsai restaurant for breakfast. This is where you'll find the breakfast buffet, as well as where you'll pick up some Thai food for dinner. The buffet was clearly catering to a local palate, which I can't say enough about. There was a noodle soup station first off, and many hot dishes behind. Getting bland, lackluster Thai food from a Thai resort is becoming a pet peeve of mine, and the Naka did not disappoint at all in this regard. Each hot Thai dish was exploding with flavor, as it should. On the other side were a selection of juices, a Bloody Mary bar for those who had a long night, and an egg station. Inside, there's a cool room to keep all of the foods that need to be kept cold and away from critters. Overall, a small but great buffet and excellent coffee. Let's take advantage of a few overcast hours now to take a look at the spa and the rest of the island. The waterways around the spa were empty as they were actively being cleaned, but otherwise, the spa was fully functioning by appointment only. As would be typical for any Six Senses resort, the spa is huge in scale, and actually I think they reduced the size a bit during renovation. Still big enough to get lost in though. The treatment rooms lined this corridor and were all named after different flowers. Near the entrance to the resort was the workout and general use Sala. Salas, by the way, are large, open communal spaces in Thai culture. Here, the resort offered kickboxing and other fitness activities. Near the spa are all of the traditionally connected rooms that come in 3 categories. This is the type of room that I originally booked for my stay. I will say with all sincerity, this is the kind of resort where, if you think this is the right place for you to enjoy, book the best room that you can afford. I certainly don't think that this rule applies to all properties, but here, the villas, especially the ones with ocean views on the hill, they're just spectacular. Before I end this video, I'll take you on a bit of a stroll to the local village. By no means will you find a 7-Eleven or any other type of modern shop like that, but in a pinch you can get some necessities. But keep in mind the shops are mainly catering towards the guest houses in and around the village. It's around a 20-minute walk, and by the way, if you're interested, there are multiple jogging, hiking, and bike paths around the island, which the resort can give you more information about. As soon as these brightly colored houses come into view, you know you're about to enter town. Just for your info, the local population is majority Muslim, and the resort encourages you to dress modestly when going into town out of respect for the locals. And as quickly as it began, it ended. Checkout was painless at the concierge, and then we were whisked off back to the mainland. On to the flip-flop score. The room design and condition was far above my expectation, both at full 10s. The service was mostly fantastic at a 9. The common area and grounds, as you saw for yourself, were immaculate with full scores, cleanliness the same. The restaurants could use a drop more personality, but overall at a 9. And the food was a definite 10. Amenities, also at a 10. Finally, the beach at an 8, not considering the area in front of my villa, judging on the primary beach area. Overall, a really fantastic 96 out of 100. Do yourself a favor and put the Naka Island Resort on your shortlist. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for hitting the like button and subscribing for 2 new flight or resort reviews every week. And remember, it's free for you, and we'll just keep the content flowing.